Welcome! ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Thursday, the 28th of September. Good to have you aboard. We are part of the Believe Podcast Network, and everything ZASLOW Show 2.0 is always presented by Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, slip and fall, hit and run, motorcycle, boating, if you're hurt, if you're injured, you call 911 first, then you get Anidjar and Levine on the phone immediately. No one's going to take better care of you. All right, Mark Anidjar, Ellie Anidjar, Glenn Levine, they treated me like family when we started ZASLOW Show 2.0, and they're going to get you the money that you deserve. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. All right, we got it. This is one of those days. So we're not happy. You all listening are not happy. I feel really stupid. I mean, I got to be the first person to raise my hand. I was convinced this whole time. I was convinced in the beginning, then there was a little bit of a lull, and then I was super convinced that the Miami Heat were going to land Damian Lillard. And I got to be the first one to raise my hand here. I feel stupid. I look stupid. And not the usual kind of look stupid. Like, I look stupid because I was dead set that this thing was happening. So we're going to do a ton of the show today on that. Obviously, our pal Israel Gutierrez, ESPN, I think he was at the Inter-Miami match last night, so we'll talk a little bit about that with him. But we're going to get Israel, and we're going to get to the bottom of what the hell happened here. How did the Heat not wind up with Damian Lillard? Today is Thursday. That means we do fantasy football. The NFL tonight. Packers, Lions. So we got to make sure. No, actually, I don't think it's Packers and Lions. I think I'm wrong about that. It is Packers and Lions. Wow. All right. I was right. We're going to get Jamie Eisenberg, CBS Sports fantasy football expert, on with us. He's going to help us all set our fantasy football lineups for the weekend. And of course, football's back, so everybody knows BetOnline is your number one information source for all your sports wagering info. They have all the up-to-minute stats, news, scores, matchup breakdowns. Get the latest game odds, the spreads, the totals from all your NFL, all your college football games at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates, stats, news, odds. You all the way through the college football playoff, all the way through the Super Bowl. BetOnline gives you access to the best football promotions, contests available anywhere online. Head to the BetOnline website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Remember, use promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, BELIEVE, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. It's also Thursday, which means we have our mailbag, all right? I got a few questions here. We do mailbag. We answer any questions you got every Thursday. But let's get right to it. Let's get to the crux of it. Damian Lillard yesterday. So here's how I experienced it, all right? I'm in the car dealership yesterday. I got a new car yesterday. I'm there. I'm getting a new car. I'm sitting down with my guy, Pierre. He's my car guy. We're in his office. We're shooting the shit. We're going over some paperwork. We're just chilling. And all of a sudden, we hear people on the showroom floor. Damian Lillard, Milwaukee. And we're like within earshot, like, what? And so we both go to check our phone. Now, like 5 minutes before that was when I sat down. He goes, hey, so what's the deal with Dame? Are we getting Dame? I'm like, yeah, it's coming. Don't worry. We're getting him. 5 minutes later, Damian Lillard traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. So I look like an asshole in front of him. I look like an asshole to everybody. Especially this week, these last couple days. Monday we were off because of Yom Kippur. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm over here in front of the mic, ZASLOW Show 2.0, in the ZASLOW Mansion bedroom, master bedroom, right where all the magic happens there. And I'm telling you how the Heat are definitely getting Damian Lillard. And I look so stupid. So we see the news there, and it's like I was stunned. And of course, Wojnarowski breaks the story, and we knew that was going to be the case. See, that's how this, and we'll talk to Israel about this kind of stuff. That's how this behind-the-scenes stuff works with the reporters. Wojnarowski is a mouthpiece this whole time for the Portland Trail Blazers, And the reason he's the mouthpiece for the Portland Trail Blazers the whole time, trying to say how Miami's a shitty deal, how they're not going to deal with Miami. Hopefully it gets other teams involved. And the plan worked. Like, it worked for the Blazers. But the Blazers use Wojnarowski. Wojnarowski is okay with being on the take because when the trade does happen, he gets the scoop. If you just, look, Woj, go out there, you tell everybody all the things we want you to tell. And then, whether it's true or not, when the trade happens, you have it first. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. So Wojnarowski breaks the story. And then you see, and by the way, nobody knows anything. The Raptors over here. You have, who else was one of the teams? Was the Bulls mentioned too? But the Raptors. And then yesterday morning, more and more convinced around the league. It is the Heat. And then a team that really wasn't talked about that much, a little bit, but wasn't talked about that much, Milwaukee. Nobody knows anything. The only people who know are the Portland Trail Blazers. They're the only team who knows what they're thinking and what they're going to do. All these other reporters, it's all bullshit. It's bullshit. And look, I'm not a reporter. I was wrong, but I'm not out here trying to break news. I'm not out here, sources said this, sources said that. None of these other publications, none of these reporters, they don't know shit. They're always wrong. They're always wrong. So I look stupid for sure. But the Heat did nothing wrong. I know a lot of people, well, Heat fans, are mad at the Heat, but throughout the process, like Blazer fans, Blazer media, all kinds of media, like, they're mad at the Heat. What did the Heat do wrong? What did the Heat do in this situation? They didn't tamper with anyone. They didn't come out and try and force a trade. A player wants to play for Miami. The Heat made an offer. Take it or leave it. And guess what? They decided to leave it. We'll get to that part in a second because it obviously backfired for Miami. But a player wants to come to the Heat. The Heat made an offer. Maybe you didn't like that offer. Maybe the media didn't like that offer. Maybe the fans didn't like that offer. Take it or leave it. They chose to leave it. What did the Heat do wrong? Nothing. The Heat place a value on players, whether it's who they're going to trade for, whether it's who they want to sign, even when it's keeping their own players. The Heat place a value on the player. And if the player is asking for more money, or if the team that they're trying to trade with is asking for too much, the Heat are never going to be bullied. They're never going to be pressured into making a deal that they don't feel comfortable. It happens with their own guys too. Jay Crowder wanted to stay after the 2020 season. The Heat valued him at a certain number. He left. PJ Tucker wanted to stay last year. The Heat valued him at a certain number. He left. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, they wanted to stay. The Heat valued them at a certain number. If you can get more elsewhere, you got to go take it. The Heat are never going to be pressured or bullied into giving a player more money or giving a team more than they are willing to give up. Now, I do think that they've kind of learned their lesson over the years because there have been times where, in order to keep their own players, they've overpaid. They're not doing that anymore. There have probably been times as well in trade where they may have overpaid. Now, not often. I mean, what trades would you feel that they overpaid? You probably got to go back a long time ago. But the point is, the Heat are never going to be pressured or bullied into overvaluing the player they are trying to acquire. They are never going to give you more than they are comfortable with. And that's exactly what happened. Well, it's not exactly what happened here. It's a part of what happened here. Ultimately, the Heat lost. Like, they come out losers in this scenario. Lillard, there's no other way to spin that. Lillard wanted the Heat. The Heat wanted Lillard. Now, I think the main reason that the Heat came out losers and it didn't work was because the Blazers were being huge assholes and wanted anywhere but Miami, anything but Miami. But when star player says, I want Miami and only Miami, when Miami wants the star player and they can't make that happen, whatever the other extracurricular activity is, the the Heat come out a loser in this spot. Now, I don't think it's their fault. I don't think it's their fault at all. I think the circumstances were clearly beyond their control because, again, Portland were behaving like assholes and had no interest in working with the Heat. But overall, this is a disappointment, and the Heat come out like the Heat lost here. They lost. And they were proven wrong. See, that's another big thing, right? So the Heat's whole MO here was, this is our offer. See if you could find something better. The Heat, we're not going to bid against ourselves. The Heat were proven wrong. Not that the Bucks deal was better. The Heat said, this is our offer. Go find another deal. Go find something better. You want more? We're not giving you more. We don't think that you're going to find a better offer. A, we don't think you're going to find a better offer. B, we don't think there are going to be any other offers out there because the player said he refuses to go anywhere else. The Heat were proven wrong. Not that the Bucks deal was better, not that the Blazers did find a better deal, because the Bucks deal is not better. There is no scenario where, like, let's just say the starting point was Tyler Hero and 2 first-round picks, 28 and 30, 2028 and 2030. Tyler Hero and those 2 picks, which, look, I do believe it would have got to a place where if the Blazers actually came back to the Heat and said, this is what we have on the table, can you match it? I do think the Heat would have thrown in something extra. Maybe it's Caleb Martin, maybe it's Jovic and Jaquez Jr. I don't know. But just the starting point of Tyler Hero and 2 first-round picks, you cannot tell me that's not a better deal than Drew Holiday and 1 first-round pick in 2030 or 2029, whichever one it is. Bullshit. Okay, they didn't want Tyler Hero. They don't want Drew Holiday either. They're going to trade him as well. Oh, but they also got DeAndre Ayton. That part of the deal was never going to be adjusted. Phoenix is in the deal because they want to take Nurkic off of Portland wants to get rid of Nurkic. Phoenix wants Nurkic because Vogel wants a defensive-minded center, and they can't wait to get rid of DeAndre Ayton. Miami is in that deal with Portland, and Portland is still getting DeAndre Ayton. That part is still happening. That's why we're only talking about Drew Holiday and 1 first-round pick. Forget about the pick swaps. Those never come to fruition. You want to talk about like phony baloney picks. Pick swaps in 2028 and 2030. They got the first-round pick from Milwaukee in 2029. Everyone wants to talk, oh, the picks from Miami are going to be bad. Well, first of all, any championship contending team that you make a trade with, the picks are going to be bad. But with the Heat, at least, by 2028, Jimmy Butler and Damian Lillard, they're going to be long gone by then. Those might be great picks. Giannis, he's still going to be playing for the Bucks in 2029 when Portland gets that pick. And the pick swaps in 28 and 30. Milwaukee is still going to have late first-round picks. You're never even going to be able to swap them. Those pick swaps are never going to convey because your pick's going to be better than their pick at the time. So that's all bullshit. The Blazers, and by the way, Drew Holiday, free agent after this year. They're not going to keep him. Drew Holiday, 33 years old, free agent after this year. Tyler Hero, 23 years old, has been a big performer in the finals in his rookie year. 6th man of the year, trending toward being an all-star, under contract for 5 more years. At a number that is going to look awesome when this new TV deal kicks in. And you think that Drew Holiday and 1 first-round pick is better than Hero and at least 2 first-round picks? Get the fuck out of here. This was about Joe Cronin making a deal that was anything but Miami. It came down to, I don't care if we take less. Miami doesn't exist. Let's get the best deal out there. And that's exactly what happened. And there is nothing the Heat can do about that. So for everyone who's mad at Pat Riley, you're an ingrate. Any Heat fans who are angry at the Heat for not being able to close this deal, you can't just turn off computer assistance on NBA 2K and make whatever deal you want. You're mad at Pat Riley over this? You're an ingrate. I'm aggravated with the whole situation. But am I mad at Riley? Oh, please. So the Heat were proven wrong. Not that the Bucks deal was better, because it wasn't. Because the Heat did not believe anyone else was going to make an offer comparable. Now, is the offer Milwaukee made comparable? Yes. It's not better, it's comparable. The Heat did not believe, A, anyone else was going to make an offer because Lillard only wants Miami, and B, if they do, it's not going to be comparable. They were wrong about that. So whether or not Milwaukee thought the deal was actually better or just wanted to be presented with the deal that wasn't Miami, the Heat had a position. Bucks called their bluff. The Heat said, this is our deal, take it or leave it. Or, this is our deal, we don't think you could come up with anything better, we're not going to bid against ourselves. The Bucks called the Heat's bluff, and the Heat lost out. And it wasn't a bluff. It wasn't a bluff by the Heat. It's just the Bucks pulled their card, and they're like, we're going to find another deal. And they did find another deal. They didn't find a better deal, but they refused to work with Miami. They didn't like that Lillard only wanted Miami. You put Joe Cronin, you now have a rat trapped in the corner, and he's like, I'm going to eat my way out here any way I can without it being Miami. And Milwaukee was willing to take the gamble on Lillard. And of course, and you know what? It's not even a gamble because of course Lillard is going to go to Milwaukee. And of course he's going to be happy about going to Milwaukee. How bad would it look? They didn't just trade him to, they didn't trade him to Detroit. They didn't trade him to Indiana. They traded him to the team that had the best record in the league last year and arguably the best player in the league. If Damian Lillard is really all about winning, then he's going to be thrilled with being traded to Milwaukee. It'd be such a bad look if he wasn't. So, Milwaukee was willing to take the gamble on the player that only wants to play in Miami, except it wasn't really a gamble for them. It made no sense for Lillard not to be happy with the deal to Milwaukee, even if Miami was his first choice. It sucks. It's a spite trade. The deal was better in Miami. They could have completely appeased their legendary player, although I'm sure he's happy still. The part that aggravates me the most is Joe Cronin is a rat and was unwilling to deal with Miami, even though they did nothing wrong, and instead made a spite deal. That part really aggravates me. Portland hated that Lillard tried to force his way to one team. And they said, yeah, we're going to do what's best for business. We're going to do what's best for us. We'll send you somewhere you'll be happy. It may not be the destination you're looking for, but you are under contract. See, that's the part of this. If I can take an unbiased perspective here, that's the part of this that I like. Fuck this player empowerment bullshit. You're under contract. If you want to have control of where you play every single year, sign one-year deals. If you sign a multi-year deal and are guaranteed the money, you lose that power. You lose that leverage. I've said the whole time, if I'm a Blazer fan, I hate that he said, I'm only willing to go to Miami. And because that screws the team. But ultimately, the Blazers decided, we're going to make a spite trade. We refuse to send him to Miami. We will take the best deal we can get anywhere else. So did the agent, what's his name, Aaron Goodwin, did the agent being so vocal about only Miami when this first started happening in July, did that screw the deal? Did that backfire? Did it make Joe Cronin say, anyone but Miami, best deal not Miami? Maybe. That feels like it was but now, I can't say it was a major misstep because he ends up going to Milwaukee and he's going to compete for a championship. But as far as how it worked out for the Heat, as far as Lillard wanting Miami and only Miami, was that a major misstep by the agent? It would appear so. Maybe so. But blaming Riley is ridiculous, and you are an ingrate if you are upset with him. Lillard's definitely good with the trade. Like I said, if you're all about winning and they sent you to Milwaukee, even in a spike trade, it's ridiculous if you're not happy. You have to be happy about it. It'd be such a bad look for Lillard. And Lillard's too professional, and he's too good of a dude to not understand that. He knows this is a great deal. He's got to be super happy. He's going to play with Giannis. I mean, Milwaukee, it's not like Portland is some first prize to live in. No offense, everybody in Portland, but okay. So now he's going to go to Milwaukee. I was so aggravated when I got the news yesterday. You know what? I was so aggravated that even when I went to bed at night and I laid down on my sheets and giggles sheets, I mean, they were so comfortable, but it didn't make up for it. I mean, maybe it helps a little bit. I certainly slept great. If you don't love your bed sheets, or matter of fact, forget if you don't love your bed sheets. If you've never tried sheets and giggles, get to sheetsgiggles.com. Use promo code ZASLOW, ZASLOW. Get 20% off your first order. Sheets and Giggles, sheetsgiggles.com. Use promo code ZASLOW. We're talking naturally softer, cooler, the most breathable sheets you've ever slept on in your life. That's right. You're going to become, just like the ZASLOW family, you're going to become one of over 100,000 Americans sleeping on Sheets and Giggles and never turning back. Get the best sleep of your life with Sheets and Giggles' irresistibly soft eucalyptus sheets. A unique satin weave. Their sheets are not only soft, but also breathable. You can sleep cool and comfortable all night long. Matter of fact, going on right now is Sheets and Giggles' annual fall sale, 25% off. But make sure you use my promo code ZASLOW, ZASLOW. Use promo code ZASLOW at checkout, 20% off your first order. Sheetsgiggles.com. You'll never get bed sheets anywhere else. Sheetsgiggles.com. All right. We're going to get to Israel coming up in a few minutes here. Inter Miami lost last night. He was at the Inter Miami game, I believe. Inter Miami lost last night 2-1 to Houston. They were down 2-0 most of the game. They gave up a penalty, which put them down 2-0 in late in the first half. Messi did not play. Messi still, I guess, suffering from fatigue. Jordi Alba did not play. Tell you, Sergio Busquets plays every game, and he never missed a minute. Dude is a warrior. But no Messi. Josef Martinez scored in stoppage time in like the 92nd, 93rd minute to make it 2-1. It kind of feels like, and I don't know, I mean, like, are we going to see Messi again this year? Is this fatigue a real thing? Like, it kind of feels a little bit like the run has come to an end. They still have a shot at the playoffs. It's going to take a lot. They still have a shot because not only do they have to catch the number 9 team, there's a handful of teams still in between them. So they still have a shot at the playoffs, but and look, they had a chance to win another trophy. They came up short. Overall, the whole thing is a huge success this year. They were such a bad team. They're now playing meaningful games, and they won a championship with the League's Cup. And they ended up getting to the final. All of the games except one were without Messi. Messi played in the semifinal for U.S. Open Cup, and then, of course, missed last night in the final. But it kind of feels like the run might be coming to an end. The Marlins, though, lose the first game yesterday, 11-2 at the Mets. Terrible. Arizona already won earlier in the day. So now you're in a spot where Arizona looks to be pulling away for that second wild card spot. But we're keeping an eye on the Cubs, right? So the Cubs last night, during the second game of the doubleheader for the Marlins are now a game back of number 3 Chicago going into the late game last night. The Cubs are up 3-1 on the Braves. The Marlins are in a dogfight late. The Marlins wind up getting a come-from-behind win. Terrific job getting the win 4-2 at the Mets. Big hits. Jesus Sanchez had a homer late in that game. You get an extra hit, an add-on run. They wind up winning 4-2. Excellent job by the Marlins. So now we're keeping an eye, though, on what's going on with the Cubs. Cubs blow the 3-1 lead. They end up tying the game in the 9th. Is that how it went down? Let me see here. Braves come back after the Cubs blew a 3-1 lead. Here we go. The Braves would tie it in the 8th. Cubs take the lead in the top of the 9th. Braves tie it in the bottom of the 9th. The home run from Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna of the Braves. In the 10th, the Cubs score in the top of the inning. In the bottom of the 10th, the Cubs score the ghost runner on second base. Acuna steals second base, and we'll get to that coming up. His 70th stolen base of the season. First ever 40-70 guy, 40 home runs, 70 stolen bases. Ozzie Albies base hit. Acuna comes in to score the game-winning run. Braves, for the second day in a row, do the Marlins a huge solid. The Cubs choke for the second night in a row because they were up 6-0 the night before that. And so going into today, the Marlins and Cubs are tied for the final wild card spot. The Marlins on the tiebreaker. So right now, it's essentially like the Marlins are a game up. The Marlins have the third spot right now as far as the wild card goes. Marlins tonight, 7-10 at the Mets, trying to win this series before the final 3 games at Pittsburgh. Jesus Luzardo on the hill tonight for the Marlins. You like that? The Cubs, 7:20 tonight. You got Stroman on the hill, Marcus Stroman for the Cubs. So both games going on at the same time. The Marlins can go up a game on the Cubs if things break right for them this evening. So I was way into both those games yesterday, way into it again here tonight. All right.